All right. Thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy schedules to sit down and join us this afternoon, talking about advertising and growing your business in 2023. Today, we've got a keynote prepared where I've got Winston Widdes joining me. He is our paid social media strategist here at Delta Media Group. Winston, you mind giving everybody a little bit of your background and some of the insights you're going to bring today?
Sure, yeah. Thank you so much, Franklin. Hello, everyone. My name is Winston Widdes, and I am a longtime active or longtime licensed real estate agent from California. Since 2005, I got my real estate license. I've been in real estate in one form or another much of my life, and I love it. I love marketing specifically. I really got into the technology aspect of it over the years as I learned that that was a big advantage for me in my market. I was in San Diego, a very competitive market, and I needed a way to be able to automate and spend more time really connecting with people and separating myself from the competition. And so technology was always a way I was able to do that. And over the years, I got deeper into the marketing side. I became a consultant, a digital marketing consultant for many years to thousands of real estate agents, brokers, and investors across the country. And throughout that time, I really had the opportunity to talk about a lot of social media, a lot of online marketing, and I've been able to now specialize in paid social media and really been able to focus on helping agents and brokers here with DeltaNET. So it's been a real pleasure. So that's thank you, Franklin.
Absolutely. Thanks, Winston. For those that don't know me, my name is Franklin Stoffer. I am the Vice President of Sales here at Delta Media Group. I've been with our company coming up on 8 years now, and my role is specializing in enterprise brokerages and industry partnerships and relationships. And so a lot of what I do is work directly with enterprise brokerages, implementing technology solutions, be that advertising, websites, CRM tools, and working directly with agents through training sessions to see what's working and not working within their business plans. And really what we've done is started to specialize our services and tools for advertising and looking at what we do at Delta, but as well as the industry as a whole, different ways that we can empower independent real estate agents, teams, and brokerages through different marketing channels, and really focusing on that going into 2023. And so today we have a webinar prepared to talk about a variety of topics. And one of the things that I want to get out of the way up front is that this is designed for all real estate professionals. So what we're going to talk about today is designed to be educational with action plans and takeaways to leverage, both if you're an agent, if you're a team, or if you are a real estate brokerage. This is also all relevant information for those that are existing Delta Media Group customers and the ones that are not currently working with us. We really wanted to be able to take an opportunity to talk and just educate on advertising and real estate marketing as a whole. And we were really driven to do that by something that was shared at the T3 Tech Summit, which is a real estate conference that happened in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago, where they had shared that over 70% of agents in the market today have never gone through an economic downturn. And I believe that there's a huge educational opportunity to help them manage their business in the coming years. It's interesting. I was in a town a couple of weeks ago doing a training session to over 400 real estate professionals. And while I was there, I heard over and over again from agents that had only been licensed over the last couple of years that for the first time they were having to figure out and deal with how to actually market a listing. The whole challenge for the last 2 years was getting the listing, but then it sold. Now we're starting to see longer times on market. We're creeping back up over 60 days as the average that a home is on the market. And now agents are having to deal with sellers. Why is the home selling as quickly? What are you doing to market my property? And there's a huge, huge, huge number of agents that have never needed to go through this type of process. We're going to talk about different strategies today and different ways that you can have those conversations with agents on how you're going to be able to leverage existing tools that are available in the marketplace today to help market listings and how to market your business now that everything has abruptly shifted from all the marketing to get the listing to now needing to market the listing itself once you actually get it. And the third topic that we want to talk about is really just long-term growth strategies. And it's easy to take a look at economic uncertainty and want to scale back. What can we do to protect, what we already have? But the reality is, if you look back in 2007 and 8, a lot of the brokerages and a lot of businesses that grew know that the best time to gain market share is by doubling down on expansion while your competition is scaling back. And so we want to talk about different strategies that you can deploy at a brokerage level or even at an agent level to trim the fat in your business, look for areas where you can save money, but keep the muscle that's powering your business. You want to scale back wisely, but you also want to be able to then look to grow market share and take advantage of the opportunities that's coming up. And before we dig into the topics that we have prepared, I did want to share just a little bit about Delta Media Group for those that aren't already existing clients with us. We are an enterprise technology solutions company that has been in the real estate vertical for nearly 30 years. Next year will actually be the 30-year anniversary of our company. We're pretty unique in that we're a 100% family-owned and operated technology business, meaning that we are beholden to our partners, the brokerages and the real estate agents that actually leverage our software and tools in their business, not some Wall Street overlords. So we've been building tools that are needed by real estate agents and brokerages for decades. And today we're powering 40 of the top 500, more than 45,000 agents across the country, and 80 leading RE affiliated partners. So we have an immense focus on servicing brokerages and real estate agents to provide high quality websites, marketing, and all sorts of other tools. We're going to see a little bit of that throughout the presentation today, but this is by no means a product pitch. I just want to qualify a little bit about who we are and the perspective that we're bringing to this conversation. We are, again, a little bit unique in this space, family owned and operated. We're a Midwestern based firm. So Winston shared his backgrounds in California. We went fully remote and we're able to hire outside of Ohio, which is where our company is headquartered. So we've been expanding and just getting different perspectives to bring to our company culture. We focus immensely on search engine optimization, which is one of the topics we're going to talk about today, and advertising channels that is available to agents and real estate professionals, is how to conduct long-term SEO strategies and when is that appropriate versus something like an immediate paid strategy or social media advertising. And then number 3, we believe very strongly in market differentiation and customization tools. So a lot of what we do is custom for each unique business, agent, team that we're working with. And we believe that you always need to be thinking differently about different ways you can approach your marketing, your technology, and different channels. And so everything that we do is built in the DeltaNET platform, where we provide custom websites, open house applications, and a variety of other services. But the meat of what we're going to talk about today would be relevant to tools like Social Connector, which is about social media advertising, AdWizard, which is paid ads running to Facebook, Instagram, Google, and other services that are available in our kit of marketing tools. But ultimately, that's enough about Delta. What I want to dig into today is the educational topics, and really talking about what I believe are the 3 key channels and avenues that an agent and a brokerage has for advertising and marketing. And so first, we're going to start with the topic of pay-per-click. So Winston, this is your specialty. This is what you've been doing for years. And so I'm just going to kick it over to you to share a little bit at a high level with the attendees we have on the call today. What is pay-per-click advertising? How can you do it? And share a little bit about how a real estate professional might leverage pay-per-click in their business. And then we'll dig into some of the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, absolutely, Franklin. Thank you for that. So the PPC big picture, the high level stuff is really PPC is an opportunity. Pay-per-click is what that stands for. And it's really paid media that could be on Google, that could be on social media. The big idea is that you are buying traffic. You are buying views, you're buying clicks, you're buying traffic to your website, to your offer, and to your listings potentially. So this is an immediate and prominent visibility online. This isn't something you have to wait for. It happens basically as soon as you turn it on. So that's one of the really big pros. So I'll be happy to go ahead and just go through the pros and cons, unless you want to add to that, Franklin.
No, absolutely. Feel free.
Okay. So yeah, so we kind of broke down some big pros and cons with PPC, because there's, like anything, in a market like this, you really have to weigh your options, right? And we talked about doubling down on the things that are going to help you to grow your presence in a down market when a lot of people are maybe backing out or leaving the business altogether. This is really a huge opportunity for you who are staying in the business, committed to the long term, to be able to grow your market share, not just survive, but really thrive during this time. And so one of the great things about paid media is your ability to target hyper locally. If you have a farm, a geographic location that you're marketing to, if you have a neighborhood that you're targeting, city, school zones, you can do that with paid traffic. You can really get down to those areas and create a hyper localized marketing campaign online using paid media. And so this is a tried and true lead generation strategy. It's not new. This has been around for years, and there's never been a better time to do it, really. You can easily manage the budget, so you know exactly how much you're going to be spending every month. It's not some fluctuating thing. And these are some of the reasons that more and more people are now choosing to do pay-per-click marketing and paid media. So with that said, there are some reasons that maybe it doesn't work for every business. It's not for everybody. Some of those cons might be that this is something, even though you do start seeing results right away, you do start seeing traffic and even leads right away. This is something that we recommend generally that you're doing potentially, if you're doing that you want to continue to do this long term, right? We don't want to just kind of dip a toe in and, oh, I didn't get as much traffic or leads as I thought right away, so I'm going to back out and go chase the next shiny object, right? This is something that you really want to commit to long term so that you can start to see that grow over time. The machine learning, as good as Google is and these AI robots and all this that we leverage for this, it does take time. We want to be able to give it time to learn and take that data and feed the data back into the system and continue to improve your results over weeks, over months, and potentially even be able to look over this over the course of years to compare and see how your campaigns are going. So cons, this is something you want to commit to long-term, ideally. You can also see that there is right now, especially where there are businesses that recognize that this is an opportunity and this is something they absolutely need in their business. There are some areas where we do see some cost increases. The cost per click is something that varies day to day. And so you'll see that in some areas there is an increase, and that's just part of doing business. The other thing is that if you stop doing the advertising, if you turn off a campaign, you'll see that result immediately. You're going to see that drop in traffic. You're going to see the drop in traffic and leads to your website. So this is pay to play, and that's something that this is generally something that if you are really serious about business, you already know you have to spend money to make money, and investing in your business, investing in your marketing is one of the places you're going to get the highest ROI on your investment spend. So it's not a surprise, but this is something we just figured we would put out there. And then lead quality isn't always as strong as the organic channels. If somebody is organically searching you out, then you're generally finding people who don't know you with paid traffic. We can definitely do your brand. We're definitely wanting to bid on keywords associated with you and your brand. And we're also exposing your business to what we call cold traffic, people who are not necessarily looking for you, but they are looking for a solution in your market. So these leads tend to take a little bit longer to warm up. They tend to take a little bit longer to convert into sales, but that's just, it's understanding what this marketing channel can do and what it can. Finally, the PPC ads typically see about a 4 to 5% click-through rate. Sometimes we get higher, sometimes we get a little bit lower, but overall, we're looking to see about a 4 to 5% click-through rate on those PPC ads. So it's just something that you, again, want to understand what you're getting into, and not here you see these things where people get crazy click-through rates. We're in this for the long term. We're not chasing the shiny objects. Again, this is something we want to be able to count on for our business day in and day out. So thank you for that, Franklin.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the ways that we leverage pay-per-click advertising heavily for brokerages is looking at supplementing long-term SEO strategies, which we'll talk about in a few slides, but supplementing pay-per-click on top of that. SEO, as we'll discuss, takes a long time to get going. So if you are a new brokerage, if you're an agent just getting into the business and you're looking to grow, SEO is something you want to do for long-term growth, but pay-per-click is a great shot in the arm to get something going quickly. And so if you need to get a boost, you're looking maybe in the slow times to run ads to keep things busy. That's one of the ways that we see a lot of companies leverage this, is get the pay-per-click going as a short-term solution for lead gen, knowing that SEO is the long-term solution. All right, so the next channel of advertising we're going to dig into is social media advertising. So again, Winston, definitely more up your wheelhouse. And I want to talk about the difference now between pay-per-click, where you do that is all Google driven. So you're buying keywords on Google. Social media advertising, we're now talking about channels like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. So talk to me a little bit about social media advertising and the differences between pay-per-click versus social media ads?
Yeah, great question. Great points there, Franklin. Thank you for that. Also, I did notice we got a question from Chelsea related to this that I want to be sure to address that too, Chelsea. Thank you for your question. As far as her, so Chelsea's question is this hyper marketing targeting local agents or the general public? So this is a great question, especially for our brokers on the call here today. This could be either or. You can be targeting agents in your local market that you want to recruit, and or you can be targeting the general public with your listings, with your open houses, with your just other services online as an agent or as a broker. So great question, Chelsea. Yes, this works for both cases. And to Franklin's point here, social media, now we're kind of shifting from the pay-per-click into the social media side of it. So this also could be used for targeting agents, as recruiting agents for the brokers out there. And then as agents, this is a great way to be able to grow your own personal brand as an agent and to be able to stay top of mind and really grow your business during this time. So some of the pros of the social media marketing is that this is really one of, if not the best possible channels for brand awareness, because all your friends, all your family, everybody we know is on social media practically all day. It's something that's on our phones. It's pinging us from here and there. So this is someplace you absolutely have to be these days. It's not even a question of should you be on social media. If you're not on social media, people wonder if you even exist. Are you even a real business, right? That's just the state of affairs in business today. So this is a way for you to keep your name and brand in front of your customers where they're already spending their time. We don't have to go out and door knock and look for them. Not that that's not great, but we know they're on social media. We can hit them where they are 80 to 90% of their waking hours. And this is a great way to be getting traffic to your website. So they're online, they're on their social media, they're watching videos, they're interacting, they're seeing your ad here, they're seeing your social media post here, they're seeing your newsletter that you're sending from My Customer for Life, you're posting that and sharing that to your socials. And people are just seeing that. And then when that magic moment happens where they're like, gosh, you know what? I think it's time to move. What should we do? Oh, well, gosh, I just saw Franklin's post again. He's really always out there. He's all over the place. I want him to sell my house. And then he's getting that call from me. And that's what your opportunity is on social media, is just being there. So when that moment happens and they do make a buying or selling decision, you're the obvious answer. And so this allows you to demonstrate your expertise, build your authority and your trust. And as we all know, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So how do we do that? We do that with social media. We're at the social mixer. We're just hanging out. We're providing useful information so that when that moment comes up, that they really are ready to choose us to do business. I see another question just came in here from Chelsea. And she asks, what's a good amount to spend to expect an effective boost? And she's seen some reports, pretty low reports with social media boosts when selecting an audience as the best sells Facebook. So I don't want to get too into the weeds, Chelsea. These are some great questions, and I definitely can answer these from a high level. To get into some of the more details about, your specific market, what specific audiences, that's something definitely, we can maybe do that in the question and answers at the end if there's time for that. And if not, maybe we can just set up a one-on-one call to kind of explore those options further. But yeah, thank you for those questions. Great questions, Chelsea. So let's just take a moment to just look over the cons, because I don't want to paint this completely like Chelsea's saying, it's she's seen some pretty low reports with some of these social media boosts, and we've all been there. We've all done that, right? That's just part of the reality. So it's not all roses, right? So as far as cons go, it can be challenging to set this up. How do we set this up? Which audiences do we target, right, Chelsea? Which ones, who, if we're doing these boosts and just throwing money at this, how come we're not seeing the results that we want? Well, setting it up is a challenge for a lot of people, just even getting it going. You also must be willing to spend the money, right? You have to be willing to spend and know that some of these aren't going to be out of the ballpark home runs. That's part of it as well. It's not usually generally a huge lead generator, to be honest. This isn't why we use social media. And if you're looking to generate leads with social media for real estate, then you might be disappointed because that's not really what we're trying to use it for. But like PPC, you know, if you don't stick with it, you can really expect not very much at all long term. There's not really a whole lot of value. If the moment you stop, it's gone. You disappear off the face of the social media platforms until you decide to do it again. So this is why social media has a lot of great things. Like Franklin said, it's a shot in the arm. You get that exposure immediately. You get your brand out there immediately. You get people seeing your stuff, your content, your listings, your open houses, your newsletter, your articles that you're sharing from your social media posts that you're putting out there regularly. That's the value, is that constant, that continuity, the consistency. Because one thing in this world is that there's so many fly-by-night companies, right? Oh, look, I got my real estate license. Oh, so did Sally. So did this person. So did every person, you know, while the market's booming, everybody's an agent, right? And then as the market starts to slow, what do we see? We see all those people, all of a sudden, they can't get a listing. They can't sell a listing, and they start to fade away into the night. You know, this is your opportunity, the professionals that are on this call, to really buckle down and hit that consistency by posting this content, your customer for life content on a consistent basis, your articles, and to be able to use social media for what it's really for, and that is your brand building and awareness. So I know I've been going on. I get really excited about this stuff, Franklin. In case you can't tell, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit about that specific bullet point under cons of it not being a huge lead generator, because this is why we're having this conversation, is trying to help professionals figure out which of these channels should you be putting your money into. If your goal is to do immediate lead generation, pay-per-click is a better place to put your dollars. If you're looking for long-term branding and getting your name out there more, and as Winston just alluded to, being long-term in your marketplace, then social media is good for the long-term branding, and then keeping it at it, because this is one of the areas where it's, for me, on the sales side, I'm not a part of our marketing team, I'm on the sales side. Marketing is always looking, you know, how can I tangibly say that this lead or this business came from XYZ ad or this conference, or it's intangibles. You know, you got to be doing them. You know, the more you do it long term, you've got brand awareness. So it's something you should be doing, but it's a lot harder to tangibly say those dollars directly translated to that sale. But it's something that you should be doing. And the reason why it's so important, and we'll talk about this a little bit further in the call, is that all of your big competition, you know, you've got Zillow's, and then you've got the major portal sites out there, Compass, EXP, and then even the traditional brands like Remax and Coldwell Banker, them at a corporate level are spending millions of dollars to gain thought share with your customer base. They've got ads, they've got commercials, they've got all the marketing running, and you need to keep your brand top of mind with that same sphere. This is one channel to do that, so that you're playing in the same arena that all the other major portals are. So that's where the benefit of social media advertising comes into play. And now we're going to talk a little bit about SEO. And so what is SEO? What is it good for? You know, how do you leverage this in your business? And this is the one that I believe is kind of the trickiest. So SEO is what Delta specialized in for years and years and years. And it stands for search engine optimization. And ultimately, it is a long-term play to get your website ranking in Google, Yahoo, Bing, and all the major search engines, so that somebody that is doing a search in a search engine finds your website ranking for a particular phrase, and they end up on your site. So the three channels that we're talking about here are pay-per-click, that's paid traffic, social media, that's social traffic, and then you've got SEO, and that's organic traffic. There is a fourth type, which is direct traffic, somebody going directly to your domain, but you can't really do a whole lot from an SEO perspective or any of these marketing channels for direct traffic. SEO, a big pro of it is it has got the highest click-through rates compared to any other channel of advertising. Organic search results see 40 to 60% of click share. Most of our brokerages that have been on our websites and SEO program for years typically see over 70% of all traffic to their site coming from SEO. So people that are voluntarily doing a search on Google, voluntarily landing on your site, it is a huge and immense bump up in quality when you're looking at organic lead gen, because it's somebody that voluntarily filled out a contact form after finding your site on Google. So they're much higher quality leads, and there's a much lower cost per lead compared to any other channel of advertising. So long-term, SEO is absolutely the best possible play you could do for your business. But there are major cons with SEO as well. There's no silver bullet for it. It requires really in-depth technical knowledge, ongoing optimizations to be successful. It's not something you can easily do on your own. most companies or agents that want to do SEO end up having to find an outside firm to help them get the SEO going. That's not to say you can't do it on your own, but it's going to require you to invest more time into understanding things like meta keywords, meta descriptions, image tags, URL structure. It requires a lot more to really grasp. So a lot of companies need an SEO partner that focuses and specializes on it to do it effectively. Another con is that you're at the mercy of the search engines. So an algorithm can change in Google and it can negatively impact your website in a way you have no control over. So really that con is you have to be constantly monitoring your SEO and figuring out what are the algorithm changes being done at a search engine level so that you don't lose the work you've already put into it. Again, this goes back to you need to have a dedicated SEO partner that lives and breathes this stuff. And the third is that it can take months to years to build authority within Google to really reap the benefits of high volume organic traffic. So while this has the highest pros and that you can absolutely get a high quality of lead, a ton of traffic, lower cost per lead long term, it does take a lot to get SEO going. So finding that right partner and committing and sticking with it long term is really critical. And why I say this is one of the trickiest advertising avenues to talk through is because SEO is a lot easier to get going the bigger your company is. And it's also dependent on where your company is. So for example, a 30 agent brokerage in Mansfield, Ohio, small population, small city, they can be the number one player in their space and not have to spend a whole lot on SEO. But if you are, a team or even a 15, 20 agent company in Dallas or Miami, you're going to have to spend a lot more and it's going to take a lot longer to start to make inroads because with SEO, size matters. The bigger your company, the more listings, your geographic footprint, the more pages on your site, all of those things Google will take into account when they build domain authority. So if you are a part of a larger organization, SEO is a much easier play for you. If you're a part of a smaller organization, you're going to want to put some of your budget towards SEO, but don't expect it to be what's going to drive business next year. It's the long-term play. It takes years to build that authority with Google, which is why I mentioned on that first pay-per-click slide, you want to supplement your SEO strategy with paid advertising in some fashion to get the leads coming into the platform. So everybody should be doing SEO, but you also need to understand if you're a single agent in a highly competitive market, that this is going to be probably the longest term play if you're looking to grow your business. So I would categorize them inversely. A large brokerage should start with SEO and then work through the other channels. A small brokerage should start with pay-per-click and then prioritize social and then SEO. There's just a lot of factors. And so that consulting knowledge that you need is pretty important. Is there anything you'd add on the SEO side, Winston, before I move over to the next slide?
Yeah, thank you, Franklin. You really said it perfectly. I think, SEO is something that I've been involved with for many years, and I've seen a lot of folks that get into it hoping to be on page one of Google right away. And that's, they saw some commercial somewhere, we'll get you on page one, or they got some, shady ad in their inbox about that. And that's just not the reality, unfortunately, unless you're doing illegal things, which will get you busted anyway with Google and, Google slapped, as they say. So yeah, this is definitely a long-term strategy. And as you mentioned, the click-through rates are great with this. This is super high quality traffic. This is ultimately where you want to be, at any stage of the business. But like you said, this is something that the bigger your footprint is, the more content you have, the more listings you have, the more that your company can benefit from that right away. Whereas the smaller brokerages and knowing that we want to get traffic fast as well as long term, getting that pay-per-click side of it is going to give you that shot in the arm that gives you that quick boosted traffic to hold you as you're building that SEO in the back end. So yeah, I think you said it all really, really well, Franklin. Thank you.
Perfect. And so next we're going to talk about some of the methods of advertising using these channels. So now that you understand, you set the stage, you've got paid, organic, social. Let's talk about some of the methods that an agent or a brokerage or team can use to leverage those services directly within their advertising. And so the first one of these is automated advertising. This has been really huge in the real estate sector for the last probably 10 years. You think of, I got a listing at the MLS, I have a system in place that's going to automatically run a new listing ad for me on Facebook or Instagram. So one of the things that's become more and more popular is setting a budget with a tool. For example, at Delta, we have AdWizard, and there's plenty of other advertising tools that you can find in the marketplace. But where an agent or a brokerage can define a budget, say $200 a month, and then you can have that configured to automatically run advertising. So let's say I have a budget of $200 and I get a new listing, it'll automatically run that out on Facebook for me. Let's say I don't get any listings that month. I still have my budget dedicated, so it can just run a dedicated branded ad for me. So I take advantage of the set budget. Again, it's the consistency is the key word you mentioned earlier, Winston, continuing to do it and having that set up and automated for you so you don't have to manually run those ads. You set a budget, you set your priorities for how you want your advertising to run, and it just goes for you. Really, really popular at an enterprise brokerage level to have an automated open house ad run on Facebook if you've got an upcoming open house, an automated listing ad. And we mentioned earlier that social media ads aren't the direct lead generators, but what they are good for is getting traffic and visibility to your site, and also a great listing tool for you as an agent to use with the seller. So we talked at the beginning of the call, getting buy-in from your sellers. Now that home isn't selling so quickly, running a social media ad is a great way to show the seller, hey, we are getting visibility to your property. We ran an ad on Facebook. Here's what it looked like. We're running an ad for that open house. And so you're using that as leverage with your seller directly. And Winston, you could probably talk a little bit about managing seller expectations. That's one of the big parts of what you do. But it's just getting that buy-in and continuing to show something of value to the seller. The second method of advertising is more paid strategies for specific keywords. So purchasing a keyword for something like a specific neighborhood or a community. They could be non-listing specific advertising. So the cost is going to vary wildly based off the keyword you're looking to purchase. So Winston, why don't you talk a little bit about purchasing specific keywords and how you might leverage that as an agent?
Yeah, great questions there, Franklin. So specific keywords, as an agent can be as specific as a neighborhood that you're working, a farm, a local community, a school district. These kind of things are opportunities for you to, in a sense, when somebody is on Google, they're doing their research, they're trying to find out more about this neighborhood that they're considering moving into. They search for a school and they see your ad pop up. They search for this neighborhood. Oh, I know that there's some new builds going on in this area, and they search it, and then boom, they see your name again. They see your brokerage again. This is how we start to build that brand awareness. This is how we start to build that expert authority, right? They see you everywhere that they look. And then if you're doing paid advertising where they're seeing that on specific things in your area, they're starting to really see you all over the place. It appears that you're everywhere and you are the go-to. You're the no-brainer. Hey, I'm calling this person because they know this area. And so you can really get targeted with this, and it can be very affordable. Sometimes we get the idea that you have to be spending huge amounts of money, and that just isn't the case. And as Franklin mentioned with number one, setting up that daily budget, you can really look at that number, set a number that you feel comfortable with, and then automate it. Set it and forget it, as we all love to do as agents, right? We don't want to be trying to remember to do all this, and as brokers even more so, to have to manage it for all these agents when you can just set it up to run automatically. And as Franklin said too, we're not necessarily trying to get the leads from social media specifically. But when we're doing open houses, heck yeah, we want leads, right? That's why we're doing it. We want to be able to sell that house, but we also know that a very small percentage of the sales of that house are going to come from doing that open house. The real game, as many of us know, is that what we're trying to do is just get all those buyer leads that we can get in to then go sell other houses, right? Like the listing in the open house is the tool to get more buyers and then where are those buyers going to do with their house? Well, they got to sell that one. Okay, well, now you got a listing out of it too, right? You're going to double end it. So that's really kind of the name of the game with this. And with the paid strategies, you can really target those. You can target specific phrases that come up in your area. We can use Google tools to look at that and see what is it going to cost, and you can budget accordingly. So that's some of the power, to your point, Franklin, of being able to really get specific with these keywords in our bids.
And that ties directly in with number three, which is career and recruiting focused advertising. So we talk in the bullet point here about LinkedIn is a great place to do social media targeted advertising, but also pay-per-click, buying specific keywords like real estate license. You could buy that as a phrase and you could have that in the city that you operate in. So anybody that's looking to get licensed in real estate, they've got your ad appearing there, directing them to a career site or a landing page on your website. And that's more focused for the brokerages that are looking to directly grow their agent count size. So thinking through different keywords, targets, and strategies is really, really important. And LinkedIn is another avenue where you could be doing advertising and proactively getting in front of people from that perspective. And then I want to talk about social media management specifically. So this is no longer paid spend on social. This is just how you are present and advertising yourself on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And so even if you don't have a budget, you can keep your brand active. And to do that effectively, you have to do more than just expect automated listing posts or automated open house posts to get it done. There's so many different services that do that type of automated social media posting. And while yes, you do need to be doing that, you need to be thinking about how you're going to differentiate and actually get eyes on your brand on socials. It's all white noise if you're not doing something unique. And so you need to have true content on your social channels, or there's no reason for the customers to engage with it. Really, what you need to be doing to grow your audience is making posts with information that is worth engaging with. And we believe that there are several key types of content that should be on a real estate Facebook page, a real estate Instagram page, and it's intermingling local content, buyer and seller content, home ownership content for those that aren't actively in the market, marketing data, and listing data. You have to be doing all of it. If I'm looking at a real estate agent's page and there is no listings, well, that's kind of odd to see. But if I'm only seeing listing content, then I can tell that that's an automated feed. You're not really spending time on your brand. And so it's looking for specific services. And there's other companies that do this beyond Delta in the marketplace that will actually manage your social media accounts and paying attention to it. So if somebody comments on one of your pages, you can respond to it. You can message them directly. It's truly believing in this being an extension of your brand and helping drive traffic, not just to your website, but also to your social channels where they can find great content. And you can obviously build your sphere, get people to follow you on Facebook, follow you on LinkedIn. The key here is don't expect just automated listing data to get it done. Think about how you're going to actually get content running on those channels. And one of the great pieces of news is that you can automate true content to your social channels. So for example, in our DeltaNET platform, you can automate something like My Customer for Life, which is a system that's got hundreds of articles for buyers, sellers, and general home improvement so that you can schedule when you want different posts running to different social channels. So another key thing to think about is you don't want your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you don't want all of your channels to look identical. You want it to look like there's some different activity going on there. And even automated tools can allow you to schedule the types of content you have running. So I might want on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, I want content running to LinkedIn. But maybe I set it up so that Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday, content is running to Facebook. And that way I've got a different look and feel on the different social channels where I can define, what type of content do I want on LinkedIn. I probably don't want to advertise listings on LinkedIn. They're not going to go anywhere, but they should be on Facebook. So you can determine, how do you want your channels to appear in each of those different verticals. And talking about My Customer for Life specifically leads me into newsletters as an overall topic, because while you've got the different channels of marketing we discussed thus far, like social, paid, and organic, a huge driver of traffic to our sites is email traffic. So email is a great way that you can also leverage your brand and your marketing to stay top of mind. And if you are using ongoing newsletter content, this is really an opportunity to show that you do more than just, again, have automated listing alerts running. That's something you should be doing, but you have to do more than just expect listing specific activity to get it done. And so, as I mentioned earlier, you want your brand to be in the thought space of your customers. And content marketing has to be relevant to the interests of the customer receiving your email marketing. You can't just do a one and done, everybody gets the same exact content, because that's not going to be relevant to your buyers, your sellers. The people that transacted with you a year ago have no interest likely in any of your buyer related content. But if you can give them home improvement content, home ownership content, and other information that's relevant to where they are at their stage in life, then you're going to continue to get engagement from them as a customer. That's why our concept of a newsletter is My Customer for Life. Let's service every segment of an agent's real estate database. And one of the ways that we do that is through AI-driven newsletter campaigns that track the interests of your customers. And we're going to send them more content based off of what they're reading. Winston, if you're always reading my seller content, I'm going to keep sending you more seller content. If you haven't opened anything in months, I'm going to stop sending you information because you're not engaging with it. You're disengaged. So it's about figuring out who to send what type of marketing to is really, really important. And there's a variety of ways you can do that. Even if you're not a DeltaNET user, you can segment your customer database. So really take the proactive time to segment your CRM to buyers, sellers, write a couple of articles of content every month. It's time. What do you have more of, time or money? And so if you've got the time to do it manually, you absolutely can and you should. If you're too busy doing other things, then there's a ton of other services you can find online to automate all of this different type of email marketing channels that we're going to talk about here. This is, in my opinion, one of the most important pieces of data that I have put together, and it's analyzing the email usage of 12 of our largest customers. So this is looking at a year's worth of emailing activity from January 2021 through January of 2022. And we have categorized the channels of email marketing that our customers can do. You've got listing alerts, drip campaigns, e-cards, bulk email blasts, market watch reports, my customer for life newsletters, and seller reports. These are the different channels of email marketing that can be done through our platform. So last year, our 12 largest clients sent over 46 million emails, and they drove nearly 6 million visits to their website from email marketing. It's absolutely effective. I mean, you can absolutely see how email can directly impact your business. When you look at something like listing alerts, they have a 17% open rate and a 23% click-through rate. So that's, pretty effective. If you look at general email marketing, most of the time you're hovering somewhere around 12 to 15% open rate, and then a much lower, usually around 8% click-through rate. And that's across the spectrum, all types of email marketing, not real estate specific. What I want to really highlight are our 3 most effective methods of email marketing in the platform. Number one, market watch reports is absolutely insane to see how much customers engage with market specific data. So in this example, our customers sent 1.6 million emails about Market Watch, 148,000 people opened it, but of the people that opened it, 65% of them clicked on one of those links in the Market Watch report to go back to their agent's website. So it was driving traffic that was qualified. They engaged with market information that was sent to them by their real estate agent. And it's long-term strategy. You think about how can you continue to stay engaged with your customers that aren't an active buyer or seller. I would absolutely recommend every agent set up a customer that's just moved into a new house to get a quarterly or a monthly market watch report, because you're sending them details about what's happening in the neighborhood that they live in, average sold price, average asking price, what's the market activity, and people pay attention to that. Ultimately, long term, if they've been getting this market details, like if I was getting Winston's market watch every single month for years, and I finally see, wow, the average asking price of homes in my neighborhood is 100,000 more than it was when I purchased here, I should probably get in touch with Winston to see about listing. It's a great way to give high quality, valuable information to your contacts, and they're paying attention to it. My Customer for Life is another great example of that. Our newsletter is sent last year to over 12 million people from our 12 largest clients. And those emails, of the 10% of people that opened it, 60% of them, nearly 60%, clicked on that article of content to come back to the agent's website. Again, if you are sending relevant content to your customers that they care about, they will click on it, they'll engage on it. You're going to get them back to your site where you can engage with them with a variety of other tools that are on your website. So we highly encourage the use of My Customer for Life or any type of email newsletter that is AI driven, that can give content relevant to your customers' interest to them. And the final one here is seller reports. So by far the least used in our platform, because it's dependent on you actually having a seller to send this report to. But you could see that through our tracking, the amount of people that engage with seller reports is pretty astronomical. Your sellers are paying attention to it. They want to know the activity that's happening within their property. And so being able to give them a dynamic report saying, here is all the people that came to the open house. Here are the ads that I ran. Here's the number of people that looked at it on our website. And so it's an automated report that you can give to a seller, letting them know all the things that you're doing to market their property. And we're going to give you some examples of these email reports in just a moment. This first one here is an example of our market watch reports. So again, you could set any market up to receive real-time updating data for what is a snapshot of the activity happening in this example, West Point Living, or on the right-hand side in Seattle, where an agent could set up a market report. This runs to a customer, basically showing the customer the activity in the market where they live. But if I, as an agent, want to be continuing to put out great content on social media, you can actually create a market landing page that has all the same data that I can continue to run traffic to that same URL, showing all the activity within this market. So Winston, you had an idea earlier as we were chatting through this of how you would leverage Market Watch reports tied with paid traffic. So mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, my pleasure. Absolutely, Franklin. Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, we were just reviewing this, and Franklin was sharing with me some of the great information that he's sharing with you right now, and it just got me so excited because this is the kind of stuff, as you saw in the stats that he just shared. These numbers, this. We don't have to guess. What do your customers want from you? We can see this is what they want from you. This is it. They want to know what's going on in their local market, and this is done. This doesn't take any extra work from you, right? You set it up once and it's good. It's running automatically in the background all day, every day. And so driving traffic to this, you instantly become a resource for your market. They see you as, oh my gosh, you know, Agent Sandy out there's got the perfect information. I just bookmarked this page and now I'm checking it every day to see what's going on in my local market. And they're seeing you and your brand, your logo, your company, your all that good stuff right there. And so when they're ready to list, they're going to pick up the phone and call you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could set up one of these market landing pages on your website and then buy keyword traffic, like Seattle market activity as an example. Yep. It's going to be an expensive keyword, but you can drive traffic to that landing page where all that data is there. Again, just building your brand even further. And here's an example of seller reports. So I, as an agent, or Winston as an agent, could set up this report to run to their seller on a daily, weekly, bi-weekly basis. And it's going to show them all the activity that's happening with their property. I mean, it would be really time consuming to build and compile this type of report for a seller to see what you're doing. But there are tools out there that can fully automate that. And so it keeps your seller engaged in the process where they can see upcoming open houses. What are the showings that have happened? What are the ads that you've run? What's the traffic look like? The visibility on their listing. And these things will be set up to run to you as the agent to take a look at that report. And if you're happy with how that looks, you can pass it along to your seller. Or again, you just automate it. And you say, hey, this report's going to run. My seller's going to get it. I don't have to take the time to build it. I know it's going to run and I look good. And another channel for email marketing that you saw on that stats page a few slides ago was drip campaigns. And email drip marketing is nothing new. Drip campaigns have been a key piece of many good agent strategies for over a decade. But there's a lot of newer AI-driven tools that have elevated this channel of marketing to a new level that I don't think many agents realize. Any CRM or email marketing platform worth its salt should have some level of AI built into it, some level of tracking to understand how the customers are engaging with it. And so there's tools out there that'll dynamically activate campaigns that are relevant to how the consumer is interacting either with your website or how they're clicking on your emails or what they're reading. And so based off of the customer's behavior, it'll automatically activate different drip campaigns to run to them. So I, as an agent, don't have to do anything. I just know that these dynamic drip campaigns will run based off of the customer's behavior. And that's really the key piece, is that my father-in-law is a real estate broker owner. We have a brokerage of about 30 agents that's in Canton, Ohio, where we're based. And I know he would never in a million years take the time to build email drip campaigns and all this different content. It would take forever and he just doesn't have the time to do it. But the idea is that these types of systems are turnkey. There's already pre-built content loaded into them. And so if somebody came to his website, viewed a listing, it'll automatically kick off that drip campaign. Or a more topical example is, let's say, Winston, you ran an open house. Somebody came to that open house. Well, they're automatically involved now in your email drip campaign. If you sign them up through our open house connector app that they would have scanned a QR code when they came to your open house. Well, now they're getting this great drip campaign. It might have 8 steps in it. And if they engage with one of those emails in that open house campaign, it'll automatically chain them into a hot qualified buyer campaign. Or if they don't engage with any of those 8 steps in the campaign, it'll drop them into a holiday campaign where, because they came to one of your open houses, they're getting Merry Christmas emails forever from you. The idea is you can chain the activity of your customers together into more qualified or less qualified campaigns. And taking that step further, it's important to keep in mind with any type of automated email advertising that you're tracking whether the customers are really engaged or disengaged. So in the example I gave of my father-in-law, these emails might be running, these campaigns are activated, but it doesn't mean anything if he doesn't know if somebody's engaging or not engaging with that email. If somebody clicks on it, a notification would run to him. Hey, Winston read this email that was part of the open house campaign. Great. I know that. I can call you. I can ask questions about it. Or if you're not engaged and you get to the end of that open house campaign, I might get a notification saying Winston's campaign has ended. He's no longer in any active campaigns. That way I know you're not engaging with my content. I can follow up with you and I can treat that prospecting opportunity completely differently. And so it's important to think about proper email etiquette because that's becoming more and more of an important conversation as it relates to spam traps, what getting your emails flagged as spam does to your email deliverability, what that means for your domain's reputation. And so if a customer's been receiving emails for 6+ months and they never engaged with any of your emails, our system will automatically remove them from receiving that automated communication because it's preventing you from ultimately being labeled as a spammer. If somebody is flagging your email as spam, that hurts your deliverability. Now the emails you're sending are ending up in junk inboxes. And that's the last thing you want because we know you've got engaged and disengaged customers. The engaged customers should keep receiving that email communication and more of it so you know it. And the ones that aren't engaged, we can start pulling them out and building a completely different way for you to be able to opportunity prospect with them. And the last thing that I have to mention on smart email campaigns is try to avoid needless bulk emailing when possible. If enough of your email recipients, like you just send a big email blast to all of your contacts, even the ones that just transacted a week ago, well, they might mark that as spam. And if they're marking your communications as spam, that can ultimately have a negative SEO impact because Google doesn't want to send traffic to a domain that keeps getting flagged as sending spam emails. So it's really important to think about how you're leveraging your email communications in your business. And to that effect, you also want to look for a true all-in-one marketing engine. I mean, we're talking about these different channels of email marketing where you've got social, paid, you've got email marketing, it's CRM needed to do the email marketing. So I think the most and biggest opportunity agents have as you think about trimming the fat and growing the muscle of your business is look for opportunities to consolidate. Cut out that third-party SEO consultant, cut out that third-party pay-per-click consultant, cut out the one system sending my newsletter, one system's doing my social media posts. There are a dozen plus options in real estate that operate as an all-in-one platform. You save money. It was built to work together. You could get everything done in one place. It's just a lot less to manage. And there's really no real good con for not using an all-in-one. I think the only one that I've heard come up is agents fear, you're a jack of all trades, but a master of none. And that just isn't the case these days. I mean, there's so much robust, sophisticated all-in-one platforms in the marketplace that could really, truly be a best in class, even by being an all-in-one. That level of automation and the AI that's built into these big platforms, it's going to ultimately give you time back in your business to focus on the human element, ultimately build those relationships, because trying to manage all of these different advertising channels would be impossible while still also selling and managing your real estate business. So you need to find a platform that can do everything for you. And I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got a really powerful all-in-one system, you ultimately get to a point where, for example, you get that listing and you enter it at the MLS, your all-in-one platform is literally delivering to you a complete marketing package. So I got a listing, I entered at the MLS, my platform says, congrats on your listing. Here's your flyer. Here's your postcard. Here's your brochure. Here's your listing videos, your single property website. Your Facebook ads are already ready to go. The seller's going to get a seller report. Everything is done. So I did the hard work of getting the listing, and my marketing engine did literally everything else that I needed to do to kick off my advertising. And now I have all those hours back that I can go get another listing. I mean, ideally, you're going to find that platform that can do all the marketing for you, so you can stay focused on building those great relationships. And here at Delta, we're doing all of that through our DeltaNET 7 platform, which is scheduled to fully launch in January. And our challenge to ourselves was make a system that was super simple, super automated, and customizable by every brokerage that's using it. And we started this with DeltaNET 6 a couple of years ago, where again, we were thinking about how can we approach building this all-in-one platform that agents need a little bit differently. And what we really came to understand is that every agent, every brokerage, every team is going to operate differently. And what that meant is you couldn't have the same off-the-shelf version for every brokerage or every team. They're going to do things different. And so we brought through customization into the marketing sphere. So have an all-in-one marketing engine, but being able to tailor and customize it based on the unique needs of what you want to do. So this is 4 different implementations of the DeltaNET 6 platform. There's the Galaxy platform, ProLink Plus, Home Sales Center, Experience Elevated. You're not seeing DeltaNET anywhere here because it's not about Delta. It's about the experience that the agents have trying to market their listings and grow their market share. And it's not just white labeling it, it's literally customizing the platform so that each agent has a different experience where they can see the things that are important to them. So Winston, if you're logging in today, the system's going to prompt you to say in DeltaNET 7, it'll prompt you to say, do you want to prospect? Do you want to nurture your sphere? Do you want to advertise? I mean, what are you looking to do when you're signing in today? And then it'll take you into that tailored experience of what you need to do. So it's a completely different example, a different implementation of how you can approach marketing with your agents. And to that effect, we've got a promotion that we're running right now for our DeltaNET 7 launch promotion, which is available for current Delta customers as well as non-Delta customers that are looking to implement and get this type of marketing engine up and running, where if you commit to come on board with Delta Media Group or do a website redesign promotion with us, you're essentially going to get a full high quality custom website with our 2023 era line of designs that'll be launched and ready to go for you in Q1 of next year. And a part of that onboarding is going to be giving you new website features, new functionality to engage with your customers, custom agent website themes, and then all the customization that I just showed on the previous slides bundled into that. So we can build your version of DeltaNET 7 specifically to what you're looking to do with your marketing. Are you looking to nurture an existing sphere with more CRM tools? Are you looking to advertise and get listings in front of people? Are you looking to prospect and find new people to get listings? And so we're going to do all the white labeling, all the customization, all the training, and get everything ready to go and launched for you, along with different parts of the promotion saying, if you commit to do any of our advertising with us, if you commit to do SEO, if you commit to do social media ads, we will give you this entire launch promotion for free. So the slide here says it's a $5,000 one-time setup fee, but any client that commits to do an updated SEO package or commits to do Delta and Winston's team managing paid advertising for either Facebook or pay-per-click ads, then you're going to get the whole promotion free. You'll get DeltaNET 7 with your white labeled customized version of it. You'll get a new website. You'll have your new advertising package ready to go, all by Q1 of next year. So we'll do all the setup and get everything ready to go for you. If you commit to do multiple, so maybe you up your SEO package, or if you're a new customer coming on board with a new tech spend, you'll get this package for free as well. So there's a lot of opportunities. If you're looking right now to figure out your 2023 plan, we have a great package for you here at Delta. And if you're not looking to move forward with Delta and you want to keep your existing technology partner, then we hope you keep these takeaways in mind of really what we wanted to talk about today, which is number one, be willing to commit to your advertising strategy. Don't expect to spend a couple $100s and see instant results. Pouring a couple $100s into paid advertising for a month or two isn't going to get the job done. You have to commit to do multi-channel marketing and at least 6 months of it. Give it time to grow, give it time to get those results, because your market may operate completely differently in March than it does in July. So you need to give it time to figure out where your best opportunities are. Also, find ways to automate and do more with your email marketing. As showed on that slide with that data, the highest value email marketing tools are curated content relevant to your customer's interest, high quality market information, so market watch reports, and seller reports to keep the sellers engaged. And finally, if you're not looking to move forward with Delta, then find an all-in-one platform that can do everything in one place for you. If you've already got a marketing engine in place and you're not using it, take 15, 20 minutes, make sure everything's turned on, configured, running how you want. I truly think the best way to grow market share in 2023 is to find a way to get more time back in your day, to nurture those relationships, work that open house, find more listings. You need to get time back. And there's just too many tools in the marketplace to not be taking advantage of it. Commit to the minimal spend it'll be to get the technology running, commit to an advertising spend to get your brand out there. There really is not a better time to grow your market share than right now.